Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at Chainlink. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. And why not leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. Always happy to hear from you, so drop something down there, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. In the description, you'll also find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to get back to you and help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so let's get into the price action. So first off, I want to say that Link is a mess. You have this whole corrective motion going on at the back here, and it still just seems to be moving in this choppy action. So there is bullish potential here. We're going to go over a couple of options, but primarily I am still thinking that we are heading lower. That would only change if we move past this $9.47 zone, in which case then we could potentially argue that we are starting to trend, but we would have to have good structure in that case. So we're going to go over this. So basically what I'm looking at is still the potential we could be looking for this wave 2 as a diagonal, whether we form this as a flat and then we push to the upside, or alternatively, we can argue that there is a way of counting this as a complete move here, a B and a C to the upside. We're going to have to talk about these within the subwaves. Okay, so let's get into it. So talking about that potential for a flat, I am still looking for this as a potential option where we look at this rather as a bigger corrective mess up in this area. And basically what we'd be looking for would be a deeper C wave here, potentially down past this A wave low point if it is going to become an expanding diagonal. Sorry, a expanding flat rather. So the typical zone we'd actually be looking for the support would be this $6.25 to this $5.74. Though we'd have to be cautious in this area up here, the 633 as well, because this is a previous fourth. So sometimes these moves will just move back into that. You can see the 50% is quite close on that mark. So that is one of the things I'm still looking out for. It is possible this could truncate and we could actually have a running flat here, in which case what we'd be looking for is the next move to happen from the completion of this five-wave move that seems to be playing out here. So basically what I want to see here is whether we actually come back and take this high at this area of this 782. If we do, then we can argue we potentially are starting this C wave leg. And what that would be looking at is potentially coming up much higher here. So if we did actually look at this move in the way that we have it stated here, and we argue that we're completed, 1 to 1 would actually be this $9 range. So that could be something quite interesting if we do push up one more time here. We could look for this potential to complete here and then look to push up for that C wave. However, it is also still possible that we come back lower down here. And this takes a bit more time to play out where we form a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we actually come back and retest some of these lower areas. So that's what I'm currently looking at within this structure. If we did have to move down towards this 50% line in this previous fourth wave, what we'd then be looking for is the potential to come back up towards this zone here. The 1 to 1 would basically be up here at this $8.44, which would be quite close to this 702 line here, this 831. We can argue that we could see some slight extension and it could come up to the 786. So these are all sort of areas we could look to reject. We've actually moved into this zone already. So for the most part, we need to be careful. We will talk about a way that this could actually be completed and we could be starting to break down for this lower move. Yeah, we'll just get there in a second. So the other way I'm looking at this as potentially looking for a bullish count, and that would be looking for this breakout. So it's much the same idea. I don't know what's going on with this box. Let's bring him back into his zone. Effectively, what we would be looking for here is the same sort of idea, except we'd be looking to push much higher, and this would be looking at this move as a potential breakout to the upside as a five-wave structure. So confirmation would only come by pushing past this 995 if we come down to this zone of this 50%. Actually, I think that's off the 618 area. If we only came down to that 50%, it would actually be much higher, and it would be here at this $10.35. So that would be an important psychological level we would also have to overcome if we are looking to push up into this zone. This $10 zone could offer us resistance. like I said, there is a possibility we are looking to break down into this area. We haven't got the confirmation yet, but basically this would be looking at this move, looking to push to the upside. And if we argue that we complete earlier, then we would actually have to reevaluate this and it would be higher up once again. If we were looking at a running flat, the zone would be $11 and 009. So this needs some space here. We do have what seems to be a five-wave move to the downside, so we need to be careful because these can obviously extend out. So if we did get a five-wave move from the 618, effectively we could look for this 1115 to this 1038. Though this is the least likely option in my current in the way I'm currently looking at it. The other way that we could look at this move is the potential that we either have this as an A, B, C to the upside, which would be looking to actually complete this move up into this zone. So there's a couple ways we can look at this as well. You know, we can argue that potentially we could have this as a diagonal here. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'd look for that B wave and a push up. Or alternatively, like I said, we can look at it in this structure where this could be completed. There is also the possibility that we could be looking for a C wave here, and this is an ABC, like I said. If that's the case, what I would want to see here is whether we actually have something like this playing out, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3. For as long as we hold this wave 2 position, we can argue that we could see a three-wave move to the upside again to retest the top of this channel. So we didn't actually cross it. So it hasn't invalidated this, but the way that we've come down here makes it very unlikely, in my opinion, and it's more likely we're actually going to come down and invalidate this. But for as long as we remain above 676, this is a valid option. The problem is we'd have to change how we count this move in here, and for the most part, it does look like a five-wave structure. So we just have to be careful with trying to force that one. So I'm going to come down here into the smaller time frame now, and we're going to talk about the potentials. Let me turn this off. Okay. So if I come into the hourly, we can see that we do seem to have this as a five-wave structure here. We'd have to argue that there's a potential extension here where this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be complete here, so that would be there. So potentially we could be looking still for another drop here where we have this move here as a potential 1, 2. This would be a 3, looking for a 4, and then a fifth wave to the downside. So this is something I'm still looking out for. I'm going to just change this degree down. And what we'd be looking for here is effectively, we can argue that it's actually completed into here with a truncation, where that's actually a fourth wave, and then we actually truncate into here. So we'll have to see how this plays out. If we have truncated here, what we'd be looking for then would be a move back up into this zone, and I'm going to just draw this box on here, to this 50%, up to the 786 would be a typical zone that we would be looking for a retracement. So we can see that that would be that 758 to this 728 at the lower end. Golden pocket would be 743, and 618 would be 740 rather. So we can see that but until we actually break this high here of 735, we have to allow for the fact we could actually still look to extend. So, you know, as long as we stay below this point, it is possible that this could then become another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. And effectively, what we'd be looking for within the shorter term structure here would be looking to actually find resistance here below the 786. We wouldn't want to cross this 733. If we argue, let's have a look. So the stock, I mean, it is possible that this could be looking to turn around pretty soon. 1 to 1 would be this $1.69. Sorry, $6.98. That would be a zone that we could be looking for a 1 to 1 move. So if that's the case, we'd have to argue then that we could be looking for a deeper move down here where we're actually setting up for some extension within the structure. If we had to come up to that 1 to 1, just having a look. I'm going to just put this on that 1 to 1 there. confirmation of a deeper move would come by actually crossing this $6.65. If we do break down with that, we'd have to count this then as an extension within the waves where we're actually still within that wave 5. We get a fourth. We look to push down one more time for a fifth wave, and then potentially the target zone for this structure would be lower down here towards this $6.62 to this 6.57. So this is sort of my primary expectation, is that we're going to see a little bit more downside come in here. Though, if we do move up, sorry, if we do move up here and take this high point, then it would eliminate this extension to the downside here. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. If we do actually move up higher here, what we'd have to be looking out for is obviously, if we're looking at a truncated, what we'd want to see is whether we see this move to the upside play out in a three-wave structure, where we come into this zone and then we actually look to break down one more time. Or alternatively, if we are looking at it as actually still being within the previous fourth wave, we can argue that we could see a move back up here towards this 382 to this 50%. So this 727 to the 715. The lower range of this would be this 236 at $7 again. That would be basically retest of this zone here. So if we do actually come back up into this area and look to break down, it is also possible that we can argue that all of this move becomes a fourth wave, and then we actually look to break down for that fifth. So this is something that could still play out. If we are looking at this as still being within a fifth, if we come up here to this to this 236, the target zone would be 672 to 663. If, however, this progresses up higher, we would argue that then the target zone would be different. So this 382 would give us a lower target of around this 669 to this 655. So that would be a zone we could potentially look to actually push down deeper within here. But like I said, we need to just be a little bit careful here within the structure. It is possible it's completed, and then we could look for this deeper retracement to the upside and actually look to move up into this zone here, which would be looking at this off of here. So that's why it's slightly different. So let's move that down a little bit. Here we go. So there's 727 to this 758. So that would be a zone we could look to reject off of. If we do move up here, we'd have to, like I said, we'd have to say that we've completed potentially into this point here as a truncation, unless we get that further extension to the downside here. If we have this move up here, could then tie into a much deeper move here, like we went over. So we just need to give it some space here. This five-wave move, like we said, could be that the end of that corrective structure, in which case we'd be looking to break to the upside. But we don't have enough information to confirm this yet, and sort of calling a truncation within a C or within a corrective pattern, or any pattern really, calling a truncation before you have information is a good way of getting yourself burned. So if we do just start to move up here in a bigger five-wave structure, then I'd be saying that the C wave is playing out. However, I do anticipate us to come down a little bit deeper here. This previous fourth wave zone would, like I said, would make a nice, neat correction to come into this area, and then look for that push to the upside. Okay, so we're going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback in the comment section down below. In the description, you'll also find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. When you are down there, once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member staff. Will be happy to help you out. Also down there, you'll find a link to affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use regularly with our trading. Check them out if you like them. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Just make sure that you are always using good risk management. Everyone, I'm going to leave it there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in the